Welcome back to the channel. I'm Hank Strange. This is StrangerPalooza, and we're at the 2024 Overland Expo West in Flagstaff, Arizona. And we're here in the Sportsmobile booth with Brian, which you guys should remember Brian from, what was that, like, is it 2 years ago at this point? I don't even know. It was 2 years at this point. We're looking at a Ford Transit Trail build here. And you guys know I like to take a look at that. I have seen some other stuff out there, but not really built for overlanding.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get to see something that was built for overlanding by Sportsmobile. This is the 148, right? Not extended.
That's correct, yeah. This is the 148, not extended. It's their high roof option. You got about a 6'5" interior height. And Ford put the word trail in the name for a reason. It is made to go off the beaten path and to go have a good time. Yeah,
so let's give us the runaround, Brian. Let's start from outside. I think you've got some kind of bed liner on here.
Yeah, so we've got a bed liner rocker coating on the hood over here. We've also got it running down the side of the vehicle that we'll check out here later on. This is Ford's grill that is only available here on the Transit Trail package that we've got here. If you sneak around here over to the driver's side, we want to check out what we've got over here. We've got your fender flares that we also put our same rocker coating. We've got the coating going all the way down here. These are the brand new running boards that are offered on the Transit, but you can only get them once again on the Transit Trail. So they're popular just for the trail. Same thing with the wheels here. Only available on the trail, so it really stands out when you're going down the road, you're off the beaten path, and it just brings that tougher appearance to the vehicle. But also, what we're really excited about the trail is they give you about an extra 3.5 inches of ground clearance. So now it's a really good apples to apples when we're talking about the Mercedes Sprinter versus the Ford Transit. We finally got a good comparison.
So let me interrupt you for a second.
Please
on
do.
These wheels, I know that's something that everyone's come to realize that there is kind of like a recall or something on the wheels. Are you guys getting any rubbing?
So we're not getting any real rubbing. You know, if you take a little hard left, slight rub there. If you do a slight modification to the plastic inside the wheel well liner, it's gone.
Okay.
If we're, honestly, it's something that's, a dealership probably is not comfortable doing that. So what it's looking like, they haven't announced anything official. Might have to lower the tire size just slightly to have a little bit more space inside there to avoid the rubbing issue. But most upfitters can do a slight modification to the inside of the wheel well, and
then you're good to go.
And then you're good to go. I mean, since the Ford Transit all-wheel drive came out in 2020 and the popularity has continued to risen, Quigley's got a really nice 2.0 lift. Van Compass has a nice lift, and every time you put those lifts on with some upgraded KO2s, you've always got to do slight modifications in there. So nothing too much to worry about. But no, we love the trail. It's been driving great. It's the second show that it's been to here recently. No complaints, and man, does it stand out.
Absolutely. I love a trail. And this one is in Avalanche Gray, if we didn't mention that, right?
That is correct. Yeah, this is the Avalanche Gray. It's one of our favorite colors for this area of the country where it's a little bit warmer. It's not white. It adds a little bit of character, but I mean, it's substantial in regards to having a lighter color. It really lightens it up there a little bit. Now, what you got here is a full-size AMA window. So you got a ton of ventilation right there. And we've got some flare space windows in the back for our elevated platform bed that we'll check out here shortly.
Okay, cool. You do have a 30 amp out here on the outside.
Yeah, we've got our traditional 30 amp hookup right over here. So if you need to charge the vehicle, if you are at a campsite with hookup, you can plug in right there. City water hookup over here. We'd like to keep, we'll say, the business over here, keep the fun on the passenger side of the van. Then this exhaust for our S-Bar heater. It's just mounted right underneath the running board there. And then the last thing you've got here is the release for the gray water. Right here if you need to drain your gray water out there.
There you go, very nice.
So when you upgrade the tire size on the Ford Transit, you've always got to relocate the tire here to the back of like a hinge mount option. We usually use Owl Vance, maybe a Luminess, a ton of great options out there. So we have that carrier right here. They're always going to have the ladder option as well. So if you'd like to tour with me here real quick, I want to show you what our solar panel setup looks like on the roof with an attic fan and a rooftop AC.
Yeah, so I think we've got to close this, right, for you to get up there?
You don't. No, you don't have to close it. What you're always going to want to make sure you do, just because, safety first, of course, is you're going to want to make sure that you've got this in the lock position.
Okay.
So you've got an unlock and a lock position right there. We want to make sure we're in the lock position, which we currently are, so it is safe to climb up
so Brian's going to go up there. Okay, so you go up and then Lola will give you the camera.
Perfect. That sounds like a plan. Let's do this.
Probably make that work.
Here, I might have to. Just tap on the screen if it goes out.
Alrighty, so what we've got up here, we've got two 115 panels right there. We've got glass panels. We elevate them off the roof just slightly, so we've got good airflow in the summertime. We've got a fantastic fan up front and a Dinette rooftop AC. In regards to rooftop ACs, we can go with a 110 option or we can go with a 12 volt if you're worried about battery power. While we're up here, let's kind of check out the show. We got as well as our pop tops over here. And it's another beautiful day here in Flagstaff, Arizona.
But yeah, that was cool to see. I didn't, you know, in my mind, I would think, hey, you don't want to go up there with it like that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
obviously you want to be careful, you want to be safe when you're going up there, but Ford's got it so strong and built where it's okay to climb up there real quick. Obviously getting up on the roof, you'll be very careful as well, but I just want to make sure you got a good perspective of what you can truly fit up there on the roof of the van. You know, with the amount of stuff that people want to put up there in regards to solar, ACs, attic fans, you got to get creative. Thankfully now with the popularity of solar panels, there's so many different options and sizes that you can get really creative up there. And we've got roof racks available as well. So if you're wanting to put a rack up there, maybe to store firewood, kayaks, whatever you need, we can go that route as well.
Awesome. So around the back, I like a slide out.
So everybody loves a slide out tray. How could you not? Slide out tray here, we traditionally put L-track running the length of the tray here so you can have tie down attachment points. We've got these that can just release here into the tracks, adjust them north to south wherever you need. Pull them up there real quick. What you've got here, they go into the track, put them wherever you need. And that's traditionally what you're using to secure things like your bikes, secure things like your coolers, anything like that. What we've got here, you've got a release on this side. Hank, you want to help me out there for me? Thank you, sir. Slide it on in there for you. Locks there into place. Secure cargo. We traditionally also like to run our L-track down the sides here. We always, most of the time, of course, we always ask customers what they plan to store here, but traditionally what we like to do is from the bottom of the platform to the floor, we like to go 36 inches. That's traditionally what you need for an adult bicycle. So you can do an adult bike, do fork mount install in the front, so you can go 2 bikes. You usually go with the shoebox approach, one this way, have enough real estate in between. And then inside our supports here that we use for our platform beds is you've got your electrical system inside here. We can go over it in a little bit, but you got about a 3,000 watt inverter, 300 amp hour lithium battery system. So you've got all your electronic on the passenger side. Over here on the driver's side, you've got a 30-gallon fresh water tank, and you've got an exterior shower right back here in the back. That wand will pull out there, use it on the driver's side.
Oh, I see.
Come out there, you got your mixer there at the bottom for your hot and cold water.
And then what's these also to water?
Yeah, great question. So in the event that, say, you've got a hose to the side of the van, you're looking to fill up your 30-gallon fresh water tank. This right here, you're going to want to open your fill valve, allow water to enter the vehicle. Once you're done filling, shut it off there. Now you're ready to rock and roll.
Oh, cool. Awesome. I like this. Is there any power? So let's say you had an accessory back here.
Yeah.
You wanted to plug in. Is there a plug-in point back here, or can you have that?
Oh, 100%. So yeah, so when we're building these things out, we're like, hey, do you bring like a portable air compressor maybe, or maybe a Dinette cooler? And we individually pick, for every single build, we have different outlet locations, light locations, so it's all based on how you plan to use it.
Okay.
So when we're really going in depth on these conversions and building these things out, I'm poking and prying at you to see, hey, how are you actually going to use this thing? And I'm a big advocate of 80-20. What are you bringing with you 80% of the time, and let's make a home for it.
Okay.
If I just go ahead and just build a galley, for example, and I didn't ask, hey, do you bring a cooktop? I'm not doing my job. Everyone's got their favorite camping gear. Most people, you know, it's like, even if you're coming from a tent and going to a van, you've got all the gear that you like to bring.
Yeah.
So let's figure out how to make a home for it, and not you just come pick the van up and be like, oh man, where do I put my stuff? Or man, if you would have made this drawer an inch bigger, my cooktop would have slid right in there. So it's our job, and that's why people come to us, you know, because we spend that time, effort, and energy to really figure out how do we build a van that is 100% for your intended use, and not just build in model A, B, and C. Not that that's a bad approach, but that's what we've been doing since '61.
That's the way to do it.
That's why we're still around.
So we've got the bed here, but we'll go inside to see that.
We'll go inside and check it out.
So back here, is this, you guys put this
Correct, yeah.
So padding and stuff like that here in the door?
Ford built a beautiful vehicle, but not everybody wants just a bunch of black plastic all over the place.
Right.
So yeah, we reupholster based on the color scheme that you're wanting to go with. So like this particular van here, we wanted to go with kind of a medium gray vinyl back here in the back. We've got magnetic window inserts here.
Okay, cool.
And just magnetic ties right there to the window covers air. Of course, they got some insulation in there as well. So yeah, any colors. Some people like to go neutral. Van we just did the other day was bright yellow. So we do a little variety.
Okay,
Some try to be that retro back. Similar over here, when we're building out these vans, ordering from Ford, always highly recommend their 6-speaker option. So you've got some extra tweeters up front. You've got door speakers here in the back. It's come a long way in the commercial industry, the actual sound systems. You know, they don't build these things for us. They build them, you know, most of the time for delivery drivers. And certain amenities and nice luxuries have come a long way, and that includes the radio, the sound system, things like that. Yeah.
Okay, very nice.
Last thing that we do have back here, currently just have it rolled up just because it's a beautiful day and we're not dealing with mosquitoes, thankfully.
Yeah.
We do traditionally have bug screens like we have here. They're rolled up at the top there for you. You can kind of pick and choose how you'd like to do this setup here. You can either stop them right at the edge of the platform platform bed right here. Leave the garage space accessible if you're unloading and loading stuff and want just to block off the sleeping area, or you can bring it all the way down here if it's heavy bug season. They just go right there to the bottom of the vehicle, so the entire portion of this back end can be bug free.
Yeah, and so from the back, we're going to go in and take a look at it. I see the AC up on the roof here.
Yes, sir.
I think you guys have some options on what you can do with AC, right?
Oh yeah, a ton of options for AC, and it's usually based on, hey, are we 2 to 3 days off the beaten path? Have we ever plugged the vehicle in? What size electrical system? And where do you use the van?
Yeah.
Are you in Phoenix, where it's very, very warm? Are you in more ideal climates? You know, are we in Denver, where we're not really worried about AC?
Yeah.
What I always do recommend 100% is if we do not put a rooftop AC in the back of the vehicle, which happens, then we put 2 attic fans. One, it's great circulation, but with the rear attic fan, we put reinforcements in the ceiling and we run the wiring if you ever want to add a rooftop AC in the future.
Okay.
So we can do it, another upfitter can do it. It sounds, you look at an attic fan, you're like, man, this unit's not very big. You look at an AC, it's a pretty good unit, but it's the same 14 by 14 hole cutout that you do for both.
Oh, okay.
So you can easily pop out that, as long as you've made sure that you brought the attic fan forward enough so you have enough real estate on the roof there for the AC, you can easily pop out that attic fan and drop it in. One, it gives the customer the flexibility if their lifestyle changes, but also if you go to sell the van to someone in Florida, they're probably going to want an AC.
Yes.
So it helps on the resale value as well.
Absolutely. All right, Brian, so before we go in, we're on the sliding door here. I noticed you've got Lithionics, the Li3, as well as Firefly Battleborn.
Yep.
So we got options here for the batteries?
Yeah, we try to be as open as we can. Everyone's got different preferences, but also we want to continue to adapt of, you know, everything technology-wise, battery-wise, everything is changing so rapidly. We don't want to get, you know, we don't ever want to just kind of stay in pause. We want to keep moving and offering new options and what's available, and some people have personal preferences. So yes, we install Lithionics batteries a lot of times. We use Rely-On batteries as well for when we're doing our lithium battery systems. Victron's one of our, you know, great components that we use a lot. And then Firefly's a new system that we're going to start integrating into a lot of our builds. And we're excited about where the market's going in that. And what's really nice about these products is, one, it's making a cleaner look on the inside of the van. Even 3-4 years ago, you'd go into a pretty high-end camper van and there's like 6 to 8 monitors. And now everything's going into one nice little screen. And we'll say it's compared to an iPhone, where you could be, you know, 14 years old or 84 years old, and make it very easy to use, on, off, simple stuff. But it really gives you a lot more information about, hey, how's my solar doing? Hey, how's my batteries doing? When these batteries, they are still very, very expensive. We want to truly make sure that we have a great understanding. Hey, are these things properly charging? How quickly are they charging? One, it's in protecting your investment, but also what it's doing is just making sure that you're properly planning for your trip, your vacation. As we all know, sometimes we take 2-day vacation, sometimes it's 2 weeks. So we need to make sure that we have a good understanding, so when we go out there, we don't run out of battery on day 4 and we're like, whoops, what do we do now? So yeah, always open to different battery system, electronic systems. We do, though, however, just want to make sure that the items that we're installing have been tested in the market for a decent amount of time, but also parts are readily available and that service techs are readily available to work on them. At Sportsmobile, we got a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. We've got 3 locations. We got customers all over the country. So we don't expect you to always have to come back to one of our locations if any work or repairs or anything like that needs to be done on the vehicle. So we want to make sure if you're stuck in nowhere, Montana, and we find you a certified RV technician, that he is familiar with those components. That's the biggest thing we strive to do, is, one, make sure it's tested, it's a good product, but it's readily available in the event it ever needs to be worked on or serviced.
Absolutely, very important. Okay, so going in here,
yeah, so
is this kind of like an island?
Yeah, so what we got here, if we ever have a galley space that comes in here to the entryway space, we're always going to have a nice flip down. And of course, it can be used for multiple things. Most commonly, when I'm out camping, it's my cooking station. I like to be right here. I got my cooktop right out here. Of course, a lot of times hanging underneath the Fiamma awning that we really love. We usually put Fiamma awnings on all of our vans here. Hanging underneath the awning, you know, maybe you got a cold beverage, maybe a little speaker, listening to some nice music, just hanging out. But it serves a great purpose. Here, of course, today we've got a bunch of our literature for our customers that are coming on by.
Yep.
And what you see there, right there behind, is a 2.5-gallon electric water heater. The hot water there is plumbed, of course, to the sink. It's plumbed to the shower area that we'll check out here in just a quick second, as well as the exterior shower right in the back.
Yeah, and don't forget Brian's card, in case you're watching this. He's awesome, by the way. So if you want to do something with Sportsmobile, check out Brian.
What we really like as well is when we have this countertop space. You know, these vans, every inch is so precious, and we want to make sure we're using it as best as possible. Usually have flip-up countertop extensions. So you've got countertop extensions there, really extended out. I mentioned the cook station the other day. If I'm prepping food, I usually got maybe my meat that I'm about to cook here. I got my grill here. It's kind of a nice little station here. And anything that can fold, get out of your way, is always a nice convenience to have for sure. It's always nice to have. We do, of course, want to make sure you got a decent entry-exit way space here. Just so when you're entering exit the vehicle, you know, just going in like this, of course you're fine. But we all know we got backpacks, we got groceries, we got stuff. We want to make sure you have a comfortable spot. But this is usually the best view. You go camping, you park the van where the passenger side is looking at the mountains, it's looking at the beach. So if I just block this with a tall cabinet, I'm not thinking. I'm not helping out the customer. So we try to keep it as open as we can here. And then in this space here where we build out, we put a nice little storage pocket inside here.
Oh, cool.
Inside there is great for, you know, maybe your shoes, maybe, you know, house slippers, your muddy shoes, your gloves, anything that you usually need outside, or you just quickly grab it. A lot of times I see folded like expandable brooms. If you're that clean, you got to clean every 2 seconds. You want to come in here?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So what we got in here, we've got a little side seat right here. It does have a lap belt, so someone can legally ride here while you're driving from A to B. It serves as a great, obviously, sitting area, but also a nice spot if you're having a meal with one another. Maybe you've got the driver passenger seat swiveled over there behind us, and we usually like to install a lagoon table there in the middle, just so you've got that 360, so you can move it around wherever you need. You can kind of have that nice flexibility.
You can seatbelt people in those 2 spots.
That is correct, yes. So on our side seating, when we build out, if it's going to be reclassified as a Class B RV, side seating, we can put lap belts. Forward-facing seats up against the wall, we can go shoulder belt. Lap belts traditionally in the middle. So this vehicle can legally ride 3 people safely.
Okay.
That's correct.
Cool. So up front, is this how this comes from Ford as a Transit Trail? I noticed the seats are different. Are you guys resurfacing this? How's that working out?
This is all factory. This is all from Ford.
Okay.
This is all from Ford right here. Ford has now, starting in 2024, has discontinued their leather seat option. So now we're looking into approved, we'll say, upholsters that can recover them. When we're talking about seating, that's one of the most serious things that we take very, very seriously in regards to liability, and also just trying to be a decent person, because obviously that's serious when you got your family in them. And the serious is, of course, is the side curtain airbags. Okay. So we want to ensure whoever we're going to use to recover our seats moving forward has got that testing, has got that approval, and ensure that in the event of an accident, that of course that airbag is going to function properly there. Yeah. And while you're on vehicles, just real quick, don't mean to interrupt you there, Hank. But while we're on vehicles, just always want to, customers are always not confused, but just, you know, questioning, hey, am I supposed to bring you the van, or do you order the van, or how does that work? And to us, it's kind of 6 one way, half a dozen. But a lot of times, you know, are fortunate, you know, do have a decent backlog at all 3 of our locations, so we've got a little bit of time. And if you're making this kind of investment, usually it makes sense to get exactly what you want. So we usually like to sit down, do a full orientation with you, and go through all the options that, you know, it could be Ford, it could be Mercedes, Dodge, Chevy, whoever it might be, and go over all the options and see how it makes sense for those creature comforts, but also what options would be nice to have based on your intended use for the vehicle itself. Once again, we have no problem with you providing us the vehicle. The only thing we ask is, if you are going to buy your own van, before you purchase it, please send us over the build sheet, just so we can review the options and say, yep, it looks like a great option, or hey, it doesn't have this and that, maybe you want to look at a different one, or we can upgrade it and it's going to cost Y. Just so we get as much information. And also, if you ever want to do any RV financing, most RV finance lenders, they want to take the vehicle and the conversion cost and put it into one purchase. So that's always a really tough conversation, where a customer goes, buys the van, they bring it to us, and they want to finance the upfit. That can be very, very difficult, and of course it's a tough one when they're so excited, they just got their van, and you have to pop that bubble like, I don't know if we can get your financing for just the upfit. So with any questions you have, please always reach out to any of our locations, of course, on what's available now. You know, the 24s are coming out, 25, it's crazy, we'll be right around the corner. Whether we're talking the trails, the Sprinter all-wheel drive, so please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions you have on van options. And we do work on used vans, just to be clear as well. You might find a great deal on a 2019 Transit. We got no problem working on that as well. We will give you our opinion in regards to, hey, you sure you want to put this amount of money based on the mileage? But sometimes there's some good van deals out there, and we will work on a vehicle that is pre-owned as well.
Awesome, thank you. Good information. Let's go to these cabinets up here.
Yeah, so this is one of our brand new cabinetry options that we're going to start offering here this year. We unveiled it here at the show. So this is our new Sportsmobile Blue. You know, obviously we've been around since '60. We've always loved the color blue. That's our color. So this is our Sportsmobile Blue option here. To open any of our cabinetry, just press that button right there, rotate left to right. That'll open up there for you. In the high roof fan option, we always have an upper storage cabinet above the driver passenger. Up here, it's usually where I like to put like window covers, maybe blankets, pillows, things like that. We do our aluminum cap edging going around all of our cabinetry here. We can do aluminum edging, we can do a T-mold style edging, or maybe even a hybrid of both. Kind of a personal preference. It's always subjective on looks. Some people like the bold, some people like more maybe a T-mold style edging. You've got your upper cabinetry here. Got to have your groceries, always important. Stitching, we can always put our branding if you'd like there on there. So we can put the name, and then as well as color schemes. You know, we can go blacks, we can go grays, whatever you like. And then underneath seating areas, we're always going to have storage space there and or system. So we've got storage underneath there. And once again, it does have a lap belt so you can safely drive.
Okay, can someone customize that seating instead of Sportsmobile, let's say? Can they put their own logos and stuff in there?
That's a great question. Yeah, we actually did one for a tailgater the other day for University of Arkansas. Oh, cool. And the whole van, every headrest, every side seat, the whole, we did a big wrap on the side of it. So he pulls into that University tailgate, man. He's the man. Yeah. Look at this thing. So yeah, we're really open to do any type of graphics, anything that. Obviously, got licensing, got to make sure no copyright, all that fun stuff. But yeah, no problem at all. And then sometimes it's the coolest surprise. You know, a husband wants to surprise the wife and do something like maybe with the family name or whatever you want. It's kind of that nice, like, you know, unveiling and kind of, you know, making a really nice moment that you'll remember forever.
Very cool.
But yeah, you know, sink.
And this countertop's nice too.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So when we have sometimes a little bit of darker colors, you know, kind of a medium gray, then we try or a little bit of a darker floor. We like to really lighten it up with the countertop. Countertops, you know, we got 6 or 8 or so options, but we're really open. We love Livingstone to make a really nice product, and they've got a huge array of different colors and schemes of whatever kind you're looking to go with. We do black or stainless, you know, faucets here. We always try to go with the more of a ranch style, big sink as much as possible. Big fan of rectangle rather than oval. I think it's a better look, but better function. Yeah, I think that helps. Like, you know, if we're talking about overlanding and you want to conserve your water, but you're probably also like carrying some dishes with you that you can wash. You want to be able to service all of that with using the least amount of water possible. The least amount of water possible. So like you're saying, you know, press that down there, fill it up a little bit, mix some soap in there. It's a great cleaning station there for the day. No, 100%. Yeah, I always try to go with the largest sink possible, and we'll always have a sink insert as well, just so you don't lose that countertop real estate. Yeah. Correct, yeah. And then what we've got over here is kind of our electrical controls. So you've got, you know, our main switch. That is the main switch for all of our 12-volt power. We've got things like our ceiling lights up high, things like our porch lights that we've got on both the driver and passenger side, and then our water pump switch right there if we need to use the sink, exterior shower. This right here is for our Dinette rooftop AC. I know we talked a little bit earlier about rooftop ACs and different options, just to make sure we're clear. We love Dinette if we're going to go with a 110 AC, you know, a little bit more of a high draw AC, but depending on where you're at, how you're using it, works great. It's adds about an extra 10 inches of roof height. Dinette also makes a really nice 12-volt option, which we install as well, if that makes sense for how you plan to use the van. And we like pneumatic as well. Once again, kind of like batteries we talked about earlier, we are always open to different options. The market is constantly changing, and we got almost 500 vendors at the show this year. Yeah. You can tell the market's always adapting, it's always being modified and changing.
So with the pneumatic, why would you go with the pneumatic over the Dinette? I think that all the pneumatics 12 volts?
That's correct.
Yeah, but I think, do you get like higher efficiency out of that? What's the reason?
A little bit of a higher efficiency. Obviously the interior trims look a little bit different there, and then it's based on roof space. One takes a little bit more space than the other. So it's like, man, if we really got to get to, I don't know, making up a number here, you know, 350 watts of solar up on the roof, it's like, hey, we got to go with this AC because we can just fit these ZAMP panels up there. And then, as we all know, with our customers, they do a lot of research. They do a lot of YouTube watching. Yes. They do a lot of watching. Right. So some customers are like, man, I've been looking at this stuff for 2 years. I gotta have a pneumatic. I'm like, that's no problem. You know, we'll go. Let's do it. So sometimes it's customer preference. Sometimes it's based on roof constraints. It's overall looks of it. And then, as we all know, you know, it's getting better in our industry. Part availability. You know, which one can I get in 2 weeks? Which one is it going to take 3 months? So that also can be, you know, a decision. So with anything that we work on, we like to at least have a couple different options that we know are going to function and form to our standards. Just if X part's not available, hey, let's bring in this one. We know it's going to work. It's going to be fine. Do you guys still have an option for in the floor ACs or something like that if you want to use the whole roof for solar panels? Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah. So on our pop tops, you know, our traditional pop tops that we've been doing, you know, since the Volkswagen years, we don't usually put a large rooftop AC on there. So we put a basement system up underneath. Usually we're going with Danhard is a very popular option we like to go with. Cruise and Comfort makes a really good option as well. And the nice thing about Cruise and Comfort that we're going to start doing a whole lot more, it's a whole lot less power. You know, if you're not plugged in or have like a portable Honda 2000 generator, the Danhard AC, man, it takes a lot of juice. You might have to idle the van, you might have to be plugged in. So then, hey, we got to have an option for more of our off the beaten path customers, like most Sportsmobile customers are, and that's when we go with the cruising comfort. There's pros and cons to everything in our world. The pro, the cruising comfort, very efficient on battery. The negative is about double the cost of a Danhard.
Right.
So, but hey, that is what it is. Based on how your intended use is, we kind of just present the options, and you make the call based on that 80-20 rule. If 80% of the time you need AC, it's worth spending the money. If it's 20% of the time, maybe you kind of make do on those particular trips, but it's all just up to the customer.
Yeah.
With Sportsmobile, we just present options and information and our experience, and then you kind of pick and choose what you want. We don't say, hey, you got to have this. This is forced. That's not how we do things. We just want to make sure that we're doing as best as we can to set you up, for success when you're out camping.
Awesome, cool.
Yes, what we've got back here is a large elevated platform off the bed. You can see that we built into the window blocks here on the side. So what we got back here is we've got 76 wall to wall, and we've got 60 left to right in width. So we're just about a queen size bed. Queen's 80 by 60, so you're just about there. One, it's a comfortable sleeping space for 2 people, but also if you ever want to buy like sheets or maybe a topper, you got a lot more space there for you.
Okay. And this is no bump outs on this?
This is no bump outs. Yeah, great question. This is no flare space on here. So no flare space. We just build in the window blocks. So what we do, we take the window block area that Transit designs for passenger vans for full-size windows, put a foil gray insulation over that spot there, and then put all trim material around there as well. Upper storage cabinets back here in the back, kind of customer preference if you want them here. Got a pillow coming out to say hi. But kind of a customer preference if you want the upper cabinets here, We really love storage netting or removable bags.
Like that. And you've got that even up front here next to the jump seat. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really nice for, nowadays we got readers, we got phones, we got tablets. It's nice to be able to put these in here, and then we always want to have a 12 volt and a 110 out there right beside it, just so you can plug in your items there at night. You don't have cords hanging everywhere. Yeah. Correct, yeah. Over here what we've got, so we've got a flare space window that'll crank out here for us.
Yeah, that's what we were seeing outside on both sides.
Correct, yes sir, yeah. So we got great cross ventilation back here in our back sleeping area, and then we've got just our window covers that just magnetize right there, just so you have some privacy and some insulation. Cool. Correct, yeah. In regards to bed sizes, heights off the floor, all that stuff is completely up to you based on, hey, was it 1 person, 2 people? Are we 5'4"? Are we 6'5"? Everything's a little bit different. Just got to use this space as efficiently as possible. So we use a wool insulation. So when we start the construction there, we do a wool insulation throughout the entire vehicle. And we use a foil array barrier on top of that, followed by your actual wall trim as well. Is what we like to use there. And then of course on the windows, it's all insulated window covers that go over all the windows there. There's a foil array insulation on the ceiling as well. We put a layer of cork underneath the floor, between the grooves of the floor, and then a small layer underneath. And then it's obviously you apply within the marine grade flooring on top of that. So we insulate the entire vehicle, always for 4 seasons. We no longer have just a standard insulation package and extreme insulation. About 3 years ago we said, hey, let's just go all in. Every van's going to be extreme. I don't care if we're living in Arizona or Alaska. Let's just make sure that regardless of where you take this van, it's insulated and ready to go. Some customers are weekenders. It's like, hey, give me an exterior shower and a porta potty. I don't know, you go left, you go right, I'll see you in 20. Yeah. Other customers that maybe live in the van or just have different needs want a full restroom shower enclosure. So that's what we've got here in this one here. You've got 2 handles here.
Okay, accordion door.
Bifold back over here, accordion door. So what you've got is a large restroom shower enclosure here. You might look at it and go, hey, where's the toilet? What we do when we build our stock vans like this here, we're not going to just make the decision for the customer. I feel like that wouldn't be good business. We designed this here where we can either put a porta potty in if that's your preference. Okay. We've got the perfect hole cutout location if we want to put a cassette toilet, if the buyer, that's the kind of toilet option they want to go with. Or we can put more of a traditional RV marine style toilet. You do a lot of dry flush toilets now as well, dry flush option, compost option. So we're designing these stock vans more that we're going to resell, of course, after the show season. We say, hey, things that we can easily modify, easily add, let's not make the decision for the customer. Let's let the buyer decide based on what they want.
Okay, so here, if I just wanted a shower, but my toilet can move around, and then I can have more room in the shower, I would just stay with this and have that. But if I wanted something connected, cassette on the other side, I could pop it out.
Yeah, so if you wanted that's built in, open the cassette door on the side, slide it out. But for a bigger guy like you, like you're saying, you might say, hey, let me have the luxury of putting the porta potty out here, and then just using it as a shower space. And a lot of customers, it seems, they bring like nice pop-up tents, put them there on the driver's side by like the 30 amp hookup we looked at earlier. And and then they just take the porta potty and have it out there. So it's like, hey, this is just for like a wet bath area, take a shower real quick, and then we use the restroom in the facilities outside.
Yeah.
Leave the porta potty out there.
Right.
So, you know,
And this is big. This is huge. I mean, I think we can both fit in here. I mean, look at this.
we got a party in the shower.
I mean, two. I mean, look at this, and I'm over here. I'm
Yeah,
all the
if
way
you
over
really
here.
wanted a big shower,
I mean, this is,
you know, I would just go with something that comes out and
Wow.
you could put it somewhere else. So,
Yeah,
it's a big space.
And once again, this is the 148. This is not the extended transit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
similar to our cabinetry, to our beds, our seating area, anything you look at, we all build custom in-house at all 3 of our locations. So shower pans, we can be flexible. We don't have to just buy a shower pan off the shelf. So if we've got 33 inches, we can use 33. This is about 39. So it's a lot of shower space there, but we can always be flexible. We can build around the wheel wells if we have to. It's a little farther in the back of the van. So all that stuff is just based on the layout.
Okay, very cool.
So what you've got here is our isotherm 130. Usually go with the stainless front here. A little over a 3 cubic refrigerator there. We're really big fans of isotherm. One, just because they've been in the marine industry forever. So you can survive in a boat, you can survive in the vans. That's what we're big fans of. But the really nice thing about isotherm is they have so many different options and sizes. Doing all these custom conversions, it's always so tough. We can't, just to try to find different ones that'll fit. And then freezer space is always changing. Some customers love to pre-make meals and have extra freezer space and bring that stuff with them. Other customers like, just give me as much refrigeration as you can. And I might bring like a Dinette cooler on those one trips. We need more frozen stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why we really like isotherm. Love the look, love the function, love how it's great on the power consumption side of things. But with so many options out there, it's nice how much flexibility we can have. If you want freezer space, no freezer space, and so on.
You guys can work that out. Okay, very good. And so here, these cabinets really, we saw that from the front side, I guess we turn and go in, so you can see it here. I think that's the water heater.
Correct. That's the 2.5 gallon electric water heater. On water heater options, we can do, of course, no water heater, but we can also do, this 2.5 gallon electric water heater. Takes anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes or so to heat up, depending on time of year. And then, of course, we use systems like Rixon's system. We use that one a lot of times. I keep going back to it. It's intended use. If you got a full shower in there and you're living in a van, you probably want a high-end water heater. If you're just like, I need it for cleaning some dishes, like you mentioned earlier, maybe quick, rinse off an exterior shower, maybe it makes sense just to get something a little more efficient. And going back to 80-20, if you're kind of on the fence, it's like, hey, instead of going all in and throwing a bunch of money at it and hoping you needed it, maybe we just allocate the space for a pre-wire for certain items. But it's usually things like battery systems now. It's like, I don't know, if you come from a tent and then go into a van, I don't know, do I need 300, 600, 900? It's like, hey, let's put maybe a 300 and give you space for it. Yeah. Same thing with heaters. It's like, if you're here and then you do one trip a year to Colorado, do you really need a really nice S-bar? It's kind of personal preference. Yeah. But yeah, water heaters, ton of different options out there, but our really 2 most common, 2.5 gallon Ream or 6 gallon Ream electric hot water heater, or Rixon's D5 mobile comfort system. 2 most common ones that we like to use.
Okay, good. And then this is the pass-through to the back garage.
That's correct. Yes,
that we showed from there. So
yeah, we always want a nice pass-through right there, just so we can have accessibility to our items back there in the back. Maybe it's a rainy day, you forgot your backpacks back there, it's nice just to grab it. But it's also, hey, we're going to the lake, let's take our kayak. Instead of having to bring it all the way up there to the roof of the van, maybe we can just slide it all the way through. It's always kind of a nice luxury too.
Yeah. Is there some stuff in the other vans? For this video, we were specifically looking at the trail. Is there anything cool, interesting that we haven't seen?
Actually, they're Sportsmobile, so there's always something cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go do that.
Let's go check them out real quick.
Here is the track flooring.
And what we really like about the track flooring is the flexibility of the seating arrangement. We did for this example is we put as many tracks as we can just to show you how much flexibility you have in here. Move the seats in different spots. We put modular cabinetry throughout it. But also, I think, Hank, we talked about it yesterday, with electric vehicles eventually going to be in our world, be in our market when they get to 400 or 500 miles.
Right.
You're not going to be able to drill straight through the floor. So we think track flooring might be the future. Instead of having to bolt things through the floor, you might be able to bolt cabinetry and stuff to the tracks, where the tracks don't have to go through the floor. RRE Global, if you ever wanted to check them out and check out the different track floor options. Yeah. Nice, Andreas is a good guy over there.
Absolutely,
yeah. They do really nice work. So this is more of our our hybrid of, it's got a full lithium battery system, 110/12. We omitted the water, but we can add water if that's the preference. It's a cool, basically, SUV. It's kind of that 2 birds, 1 stone with the price of vehicles getting to where they are. A lot of our customers now are like, hey, let me find a camper van that I can comfortably drive as a daily vehicle, sell my SUV, then also and then use it kind of for multi-purpose.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think even outside of electric, this is just a good option like you were just saying, I speak to a lot of folks that have been doing this for a long time. They know what they need and what they don't need.
Yeah.
Either in general or on that particular trip. So if you don't need a bunch of seating, you don't have to take it with you. You know, if you do need it, okay, we can throw like 4 seats in here.
4 seats
So
in
yeah, some people don't need the bathroom at all, like you were saying. You know, so I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of this kind of thing, floor tracks as well as the L tracks on the side. So.
Yeah, it seems like people decide as much, you know, in the last few years, just want as much flexibility.
Yeah.
Not so much bolting, but also the most comments I get about when people come into our vans, at least, you know, a couple of these here, is just, I love how open it is. You know, just because you see open space in a van, you don't have to bolt a cabinet there. I promise, it's your best friend when you open space.
Yeah.
Every trip we know, sometimes you got a whole bunch of gear, sometimes it's minimal, but just sitting in more of an open floor plan, it just feels so much more, just not so claustrophobic, not so tight.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree with
It
that.
gives you
Very
as
cool.
much flexibility as
Yeah,
you
so
can.
that's good to see this.
Track 4 van, and then the last one I want to show you here real quick is because this is our most popular layout we've been doing since 1961. This is the RB150. So this is our most popular one. You ever see the old Volkswagen Sportsmobiles? This is a very similar look. What we've got here is our full galley space here. The same isotherm 130 refrigerator. Looks like some beverages for the evening. And then we've got inside this cabinet here, just to give you another perspective of the space constraints, at a 2.5 gallon electric water heater, very small, how much space you need there. Storage for a porta potty is in this cabinet here. Got a microwave, and then a forward facing sofa that's got a shoulder belt and 2 lap belts.
And are those closets?
Those are, yeah, so those are closet storage spaces here. I'll sneak in here real quick. So what we like to do here on this side here, we've got adjustable shelving. A lot of people have their own personal Tupperware backpacks, so we like to have as much adjustability as you can. Here in this back cabinet here, we've got.
I like this because you can just get like you said, backpacks, bags, and things like that, and throw everything in. It looks real neat and open.
And you can adjust the shelves based on what you got going with you on that particular trip. It's usually the best hangout spots because you got the couch right over here. You got the swivel seats up front.
Yeah.
You can always add a lagoon table if you prefer, and then you can legally ride 5 people in this van and very comfortably sleep 2 people downstairs and 2 upstairs.
Absolutely.
That's why it's been lasted 60 years. It's just still popular, still going strong.
Tried and true.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So big thanks to Brian, first of all, for that very, very detailed, I think, walkthrough of Sportsmobile and what they offer, especially to get a look at something on the transit trail that was meant to be, you know, to go overland. I appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate the time.
And, yeah, as well as the other things you guys have going on here. So folks out there want to know more, want to get more information from you guys, how do they do that?
Yeah, best way to contact us is, of course, phone, email, or, you know, come on by. So we've got our Austin, that's our home office there. We've got a location out in Phoenix, and we got an East Coast location there in Indiana. So if you go to sportsmobile.com, you'll see all of our contact information there. Shoot us an email, give us a call, or hey, put our address in Google and come on by. Come see us. Love to chat.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, guys. I hope you're enjoying our coverage here at the 2024 Overland Expo West in Flagstaff, Arizona. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.